Hi, Prabhu here. Today we will see about how to use ARNOLD Photometric light in Maya 2017 with creative project. The final output is look like this. I hope you like it. Stay tuned. Okay, today we will see about ARNOLD Photometric light in Maya 2017. Before that, we want to model simple scene setup over here. Okay, go to create panel, polygon primitives, disable the interactive creation. So that means when I click on polycylinder, it will automatically created in center of grid. So I will press E and rotate X to 90. So like this, and press R and scale little bit big and scale in Y like this. Now I need to select this front face. So right click and choose vertex. So the center vertex. Press Ctrl plus F11 in keyboard. So that means the vertex will be converted as a face. So see here. Now shift right click and choose extrude face and press W. I want to move in Y. I need to taper this one, so press R and scale in mid and press W. I want to move little bit in front. So shift right click and choose extrude face and press W. I want to move in front like this. So right click and choose vertex. I will select this vertex. I want to move in Z. So select this face. So select this vertex and press Ctrl plus F11 in keyboard, so that vertex will be converted as a face. Shift right click and choose extrude face and press R and scale in mid and press W. I want to move in front, so because it's a lens part. So right click and choose, double click on this edge, shift right click and choose bevel edge. So I will give bevel and give segment to 2. So now you need to select this all face in front side. We need to extract the front lens. So select this vertex and press Ctrl F11 in keyboard. So that means the vertex will be converted as a face. Now press Shift plus greater than symbol in keyboard to grow your selection. So until it reach the front edge. So now go to window and choose outliner. So it's really important. So when the front face selected, go to mesh and choose edit mesh and choose extract. So when you click on this one, the polycylinder will be created as a group. See here, it will create as a group. Now you have inside we have 2 objects. So select this object and Control select this object and press Shift to P to unparent this group. When the 2 surface selected, go to edit, delete by type and choose history. So that means our group and history will be gone. So now I want to rename this object. So this one is the torch light body. So like this. Now this one I want to give 01. So and this one is the lens 01. So but I want to move this one. So see here, our pivot is over in center of grid. I will select lens 1 and go to edit, modify and choose center pivot. I want to move in Z. So I want little bit thickness. So remember, when you have any transparent material, you at least need very tiny bit of thickness. So otherwise ARNOLD will not shows the transparent object in render. So I need to extrude this one. So when the object selected, shift right click and choose extrude. You need to extrude in Z in front. So like this, I add little bit of thickness. So it's really important. So now I double click on this edge and shift to double click on this edge. Shift right click and choose bevel edge and give fraction to 0.2 like this, and add segment to 2. Right click and choose object mode. So when the object selected, press 3 to smooth this object. So now I want to give translate z to 0, means it will go with original spot. So I will move this one. So I want to model this object. So now double click on this edge, shift right click and choose bevel edge. I will reduce the fraction, and also I will give 0.1. so and give segment to 3 or 4. So right click and choose object mode. So now I need to add little bit of thickness to this object. Before that, I will double click on this edge and shift to double click on this edge, shift right click and choose bevel edge. So I will give tiny bit of thickness, so 0.02, and give segment to 2. So I will click on outside. So now right click and choose object mode, shift right click and choose extrude edge. You need to extrude in Z. You need to extrude in Z outside. You add little bit of thickness, so like this. Now click on outside, so double click on this front edge and shift to double click on this front edge, shift right click and choose bevel edge. So I will give fraction to 0.1 or 0.2. So I will give 0.3 and segment to 2. So I need to add insert edge loop over here. So to edge loop over here, and shift right click and choose insert edge loop option box, and I will choose multiple edge loop option and give 10 divisions and press enter. So that means when I click on here, so it will add 10 more divisions over here. So I will close this one and press W and right click and choose object mode in the object selected, and press 3 in keyboard to smooth our model. So like this. Now I need to add for our light source. Go to polygons and click on polysphere. I want to move in Z. You need to rotate X in 90. So and then press R and scale big, and press W. I want to move little bit in inside, so like this. So move this one in inside. Okay, so now I will select this one and press translate Z to 0, so it will go the original spot like this. So I will move little bit in inside. So when the object selected, go to modify and choose freeze transformation. So that means our all translate, rotate and scale values goes 0. So it's easy to fix when you move over here. When you give translate Z to 0, so it will go the original spot. So I will move on this side. So I will select the inside object and go to edit, do it, modify and choose freeze transformation. So for all other objects, modify and choose freeze transformation. So I want to create polycylinder and move in Y. So this is for our button area, and press R and scale down, and press W and move in Y, and press R and scale in Y and scale a little bit down. So I want to bevel this edge, so double click on this edge, shift right click and choose bevel edge. I will give segment to 3, right click and choose object mode when the object selected and move in Y. So I will just model a simple torch over here. This tutorial is mainly for our photometric light. So we won't focus on modeling, so I will have simple scene setup over here. So I will keep it translate Z to 0. So now I select this all object. Before that I want to rename this objects. So I will move this lens in front, select this inside object and rename, double click and rename as light 01, and this one is the button button 01. So now I select this one and you translate Z to 0. So I will select all my objects in outliner using control and press Ctrl G into group this object. I want to rename this group as torch light 01 and press enter. So now go to front view. So I want to move in Y. So I want to keep my pivot on this corner. So go to perspective, see here I will create my ground plane. Click on this one and press R and scale big. You need to create one ground plane, so really big. I didn't want any division for this ground plane, so I will give subdivision width and height to 1. So select the torchlight group. So I want to keep my pivot on this edge over here. Hold the D key, press W and hold the D key and click on this vertex. So that means our pivot will be, so hold the D key and click on this vertex. So that means our pivot will be changed over here, or press D plus V key so to snap to our vertex. So now our pivot will be changed on front side. So now press E and rotate. You will now rotate in Z, means you will contact this ground edge. So here, so I will give rotate like this. So you need to contact this ground. So now we complete our modeling. Okay, before we start lighting, we need to set our camera view. It's really important. So click spacebar. So I will minimize my outliner. So now I need to set my camera view here. Here I need to set my perspective view. So I will click and drag. So that means you got only 2 viewports. And go to rendering and click on create cam. So it will automatically created in center of grid, and press R and scale big. Here you need to set, go to panels, perspective and choose camera 1. So now you need to adjust your camera. So for now I will keep my camera really close. So go to view, camera settings and choose overscan. View, camera settings and choose resolution gate. So I will zoom in a little bit, so don't show this edge of this object. So I will select this ground plane, I will scale a little bit more, so I will angle a little bit. So now click on this one. So that means it will lock our camera. That means you cannot able to move this viewport. So now we need to set our lighting in perspective view. So go to rendering and click on area light. So it will automatically create it, and scale big and move in Y. So the area light will be point downside of our object. So I need to rotate X. I will go to channel box and layer editor. I want to give rotate X to -90 and press W. I want to move in Y and press R and scale big. So open your Arnold render view. So now it will normally render our perspective shape. So I need to render my camera view. So you need to select over here as camera shape 1. I will minimize this one and keep on this side. So because I want to work on my perspective view, so select this area light. So this is our fill light. So I will rename this as, so go to attributes and rename this as fill underscore area light, because the main light sources come from this torch light. So I want to hide my camera. Go to show panel and choose cameras disable, like this. Now I expand my Arnold tab and increase my exposure. So that means you will able to see lighting. So I will increase my exposure up to 7. So it's enough. So it's mainly for our fill. So now we need to apply some material for this object. Open your outliner. So expand the torchlight group. So select the torchlight body and control select the button and right click and choose assign new material and choose Arnold AI standard. So I want to rename this object as torch underscore body underscore and press enter. So I want to rename my objects and go to diffuse tab. I want some diffuse to dark red something. So I will give dark red. So like this. So I want specular weight to 1. So I want to give roughness to 0.2. So that means you able to see the specular reflection on top side and also button and also in bottom side. Okay, so now I select my lens and move little bit in Z. So that means you will able to see what happened when we apply transparent material to this object. So we need to apply transparent material. So right click and choose assign new material and choose Arnold AI standard. Here I want to rename this material as lens underscore AI standard, and I didn't want any diffuse contribution to this object. This is a transparent material, so I will give color value to 0, weight to 0, and I want specular reflection, so I will increase the weight to 1 and roughness to 0. So now I want to go to refraction tab. So if you have any transparent material, so you need to give refraction weight to 1. It's really important. See here, when I give refraction weight to 0, it won't show our transparency. So when I increase my refraction weight to 1, it will see through the object, and give index of refraction at least to 1.2. So that means you will able to see the real glass over here. So now I will apply light source for this object of inside. So select the light mesh and go to Arnold and choose light and choose mesh light. So that means it will emit our light source. Here you need to go to light shape 1 in Arnold. It will emit our light as mesh light. Here you need to increase the exposure, so to 7. So but it won't show our light shape, so that means you need to enable this light visible option. So now select this glass material and go to channel box on layer editor and give this all the values to 0. So that means it go back to normal, but it still not shows our light shape. So that means you will select this object and go to attributes editor, expand this in lens shape 01, expand this Arnold tab. So you need to uncheck this opaque option. It's really important. When you have any transparent material in your scene, you need to uncheck this opaque option. So that means it will show our light shape of inside. So I will move this one a little bit further. So I will select this light shape and give exposure to 6 So now I select my lens shape and uncheck this opaque. So see here, you will able to see clearly. When we uncheck, it will shows our light shape. Select this one and view channel box XYZ to 0. So now it's clearly shows our light shape because I will uncheck this opaque option. See here. So it's really important. Okay, it's render completed. So see here. So this is our basic lighting. So now we see about our actual part. So we need to apply some light patterns using photometric light. So I will unlock this camera. So I will zoom out a little bit further. So that means you're able to see the photometric light pattern over here. So now I will go to Arnold and choose lights and choose photometric light. So it automatically created in center of grid. So I will move this one in Z and move in Y. So I want to point this one on this direction. So I will press E and rotate X to, so I will go to channel box and attributes. So I need to I will give pointing on this direction. I want to rotate X to this direction. So see here, there is nothing changes when you apply photometric light because you need to import our IES file. So it's really important. So see here is an option to import our IES file. So I will provide the link below in this description box. Please download that. It's really important for this project. So see here, I will give the link. So you will copy this one and open your browser and paste here and download this IES file. So it's of just 660 bytes. So it's just a script. So if you have another one, means you will import this one. So I will provide one IES file for you. So please download that. So I already download and keep in my desktop. So now after you download, you click on this photometric light and click on this folder. I will go my desktop and click on this IES file. So see here, when I load on this one, it will emit our light source as a pattern. So you need to increase the exposure to see. Now you see the pattern over here. So light pattern. So this is the real use of photometric light. When you want to use photometric light, you need IES file. In internet there is lot of IES file option. So you will able to download when you have Google search. So I will move little bit in back. So set my light when it start from here. Now I want to rotate little bit downside to create different pattern. So see here, when I rotate on downside, it will create different pattern on floor. So I also increase my exposure up to 7. So now you able to see the pattern, light patterns. The photometric light is really useful for create light patterns on floor or wall or ceiling. Okay, it's render completed, but I zoom in a little bit. So see here you have lot of noise. It happened by this inner mesh, so inner light mesh. So I will select the light of inside. So I will press 4 in keyboard. So you need to select this inner light, and here we have sample option in Arnold. So I will increase sample up to 5. So I will shift left mouse button and click and drag to render this particular region. So now see here, when I increase my samples for inner light shape, so the noise will be highly reduced. So and also the noise will be created by this area light. So I will select my area light and give samples to 5. So I will leftmost click and drag over here, so and see the render. So see here, it also produce lot of noise over here. So now I select my photometric light and increase my intense little bit more. So I will give 8. Now I render this particular region using shift leftmost button, click and drag. So it's really nice. Now I need to increase little bit for my scene intense. So I will select my area light. So I will give exposure up to 8 to increase my scene intense much more. So like this. So now I need to render my full in full HD. So I will close my Arnold render view. So see here, in default it will be set as 960 into 540. So go to render settings and choose in common tab. I will give in full HD, so HD 1080. So I will close this one and select this viewport and go to Arnold and choose Arnold render view. So now it's render our full region with full HD. Okay, it's render completed. So see here, the render looks great. With the help of photometric and IES file, we will create awesome light patterns over here. So remember, so I will minimize this one. So if you use photometric light, you need to keep the photometric light outside of this mesh. If you keep inside of this mesh, the photometric light won't render. So you need to keep the photometric light outside of our mesh. So it's really important. So I will save my Arnold render view. So go to my file and choose save image color corrected. I will choose in my desktop as photometric light. So .jpeg, so .jpg, and choose save. So I will preview this one. So I will minimize. So I will select my photometric light and choose preview. I hope you like it. I see you on next project. Click subscribe button to subscribe our YouTube channel. We always need your support to create high quality content further. So please subscribe. Click here to also watch the tutorial of Maya 2017 modeling tricks using Mesh Conform.